Good morning, everybody. We do have a full house this morning. Thank you guys all for being here. My name is Brian Osofsky. I'm the marketing director for the Lee County Visitor Convention Bureau. And just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. We want to make sure that you all sign in. So there's a sign-in sheet right here by the front door. At some point today, before you leave, just give us your information. Also, today's presentation will be on leevcb.com, so you can go back after the meeting today. You can go back at any time and review it and go through it again. So you don't need to write everything down, just you take your notes, but the presentation will be available. Of course, fruit, snacks, we have more water on the way. I see water at everybody's place, so you guys clean this out. We have some more water coming. The restrooms are right out the door, make a left, right back here near the hall, and then there's also some restrooms across the other side of the lobby. So before we get started and before I introduce the folks that's going to be talking to you about co-op, I'd like to bring our Executive Director, Tamara Pyatt, up to welcome all of you and to make a few comments.
Okay, good morning. So nice to see everybody here. Before we get started talking about how we're going to market this area, you know, the elephant in the room or the manatee or turtle or Goliath grouper, unfortunately, in the room right now, of course, is all the water quality issues we're dealing with in the community. As you know, the VCB is not a regulatory agency in any way. We're a marketing agency. So what we've been doing to this point is providing you with information that you can share your guests. Everybody seen the red tie card? This is electronically available to you. There's some copies here. We have hard copies if you want to take some. We can get some more down here. But if you're not using these in your property, I highly encourage you to do so. It's things that help you answer guest questions. It's something you can give to them so that they can answer questions. Health tips, top 10 facts about red tide, seafood safety tips, etc. It's very important that you use accurate information with your guests. I know it's a challenge. I wouldn't welcome this on anyone. This is a horrible time for our community. We are in the perfect storm. Red tide, blue-green, red drift algae, and onshore winds. As you know, the municipalities and Lee County Parks and Recreation are out cleaning up the beaches. For those of you who are coastal properties, they are picking up the fish. But also remember that every single time the tide comes in, more fish come in that tide. So they have to be picked up again. So it's an ongoing process. I hear that there's some slowing of the amount of fish coming onto the beach. Is that true at Sanibel?
Not as of yesterday.
Not as of yesterday. Definitely at Fort Myers Beach it slowed down a little bit. Quantity. Not that they're coming, but quantity. We count fish per 100 feet as a way to track it. How many fish did they pick up within 100 feet? And it seems to be slowing down a bit. I don't know that that's true on Sanibel, but I heard that about Fort Myers Beach. Just know that staff and contractors are out there doing that. How are we paying for that? Fed tax dollars. The municipality will take that, cover that expense, and we will reimburse them. For Parks and Rec, obviously, it's just coming straight out of the county coffer. But we're taking care of that expense. That's one of the things that tourism is doing to help with this situation. When this is over, I promise you, the marketing will be on a heightened level. Not only from us, but I've had a conversation with Visit Florida. They understand that we're going to need some love down here in Southwest Florida, and they're going to help us turn it on as well. Everybody wants us to tell them what to do. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not a hydrologist, a biologist. I don't have that expertise. I just know we want them to fix it. You got to tell that to your elected official. I want my tax dollars to be used for infrastructure projects that help solve these problems. That's my advice to you. You guys are the experts. You hire experts. You can get a consultant that's an expert. Somebody out there that you know can take care of that. But we are asking our elected officials, fix it. Use our tax dollars to fix it. That's my soapbox. I'm going to get off of it. You vote for who you want to and tell them, but whoever you're talking to, make sure you're communicating to them that you believe your tax dollars need to go to fix this situation, because that's the message I think they need to hear. And more importantly, they need to hear that not just when it's bad. They need to hear that 365 days a year. We have a bad habit here of getting off that soapbox when things improve. And they will improve, guys. I know when we're in the middle of this, it never feels like that. Winds could start blowing offshore next week. It's all better. Oh, what red tide, we forgot about it. What water quality problems, it's over. Going back to work, going back to my marketing job, doing what I do, bang, bang, bang. Oh, we need to stay on this continually. This is decades of work that, honestly, decades of work that have to happen to help us with these situations. Too much water is an enormous problem here. So, since I'm so happy and bright this morning, the truth is, the way we bail ourselves out of this when it's over is marketing. So today we're going to talk about all the marketing opportunities that are coming up in 2019. I'm going to turn it back over to Brian. We'll continue to provide you resources. We're about to update our beach conditions page with some additional information. We're going to change our tone on social a little bit. I'm sure you're getting hammered there. We're getting hammered there. So stay tuned, but it's, please know that every single day while you're working on this, we're working on this too. So that, I'm going to hand it over to Brian. You guys are really lucky. This is a great co-op plan.
Thanks, Tam. So for those of you who are going to stay around, we have a social media boot camp this afternoon. Same room. Starts at 1:30. This should wrap about 12:15. Go downtown for lunch. Enjoy the downtown area. Come back, and we'll have 3 hours of fantastic information regarding social media, including some crisis communication information. Right now, I want to introduce 3 members of our MMGY team. MMGY Global is our advertising agency. The first person is Elizabeth Escorbano. She's here, boots on the ground in Fort Myers. She runs the co-op program on our behalf. A lot of you probably know Elizabeth. We also have Laura Kovacs as our media buyer at MMGY. And then for the social media portion of today's program, we have Mackenzie Davidson, who is our social media account supervisor. All right? So you might have some questions as we go along. The information is going to be divided into sections based on tactics. Just for the sake of time, let's hold our questions after each tactic. Okay? And Elizabeth and Laura will remind you, obviously, and encourage you to ask questions. And then they'll also be around at the end of the program today to talk to you about any other questions that you might have. So, with that, I will turn it over to Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Here you go.
I have my own mic here, if you could shut that one off, thanks. I'm a little talker, so I need my little... Thank you. So, yes, hi guys. My name's Elizabeth. I've been actually managing the co-op program with the VCB for about 4 years. Went really fast. So this is our 4th year that we've been handling it. Laura is buyer planner, so she's negotiating all your placements, planning, RFPing everything, making sure things deliver. She and her team, of course. And Mackenzie handles all of our social placements with Megan, who you'll meet later too. So every time that you guys are submitting your materials or your social placements, Mackenzie's putting them together. Anytime you have a complicated question for me, I'm going to Mackenzie. She's answering it. So she'll lead the boot camp, like Brian said, at 1:30 in this room. So I just wanted to let you guys know that as we're going through the deck, you're going to see attraction option at the bottom left of the screen for those programs that are going to best serve our attraction partners. All are going to best serve our accommodation partners, but there are specific programs that will work better for attractions than others. And then also when you actually go into the co-op portal, you'll see an A in parentheses next to either the program that works for attractions or the whole program group. So for example, social media, all of those placements work for our attractions, so you'll see that A on the actual program group. Also on the deck, you'll see the measure of success for each program, so that's really what you're going to want to base your performance on as you're going through the year. I've heard that partners use this deck as kind of like a one-stop shop and a reference tool throughout the year. So we are going to have it on VCB for you guys. So you'll see a lot of comprehensive information here, a lot of content, and that is so that you can use it later as a reference and help plan your year coming up. Coming up on a little quicker. Okay. All right. So we do have a little over 295 programs for purchase this year across multiple tactics. Traditional will be our print and radio. Digital are paid emails, digital banners, native, social. We have some cool new programs for you this year that we'll talk about. The VCB email, which we also call ECRM, if you hear me interchanging those two words. Those are our monthly emails, partner dedicated, our welcome series, of course. Travel trade, we have all three tactics, digital, native, and print, international, and then of course our website, featured listings, deals, all that good stuff. The program cost truly is about 1 to 2% of the total placement price. That's how much you guys are paying versus the VCB. So they're taking, of course, they're subsidizing most of the cost. And also, a lot of vendors have very high minimums, $5,000 a month, so you're able to run in these programs for a much less rate and actually get into them. And you'll see, as we go through, we'll talk about our new meetings campaign very briefly later. Every slide is pretty much going to have an actual placement from this year on it, so you'll be able to see our Islandology campaign, and we'll be evolving that for next year too. So we'll go through our fiscal year 17-18 successes, the current year. We'll talk a little bit about the media landscape, some program benefits. We'll go through each tactic, and then just get into some little housekeeping items like reporting, some brand insights, asset requirements, and timing the next step.
So moving into 17-18 successes. For co-op successes, we offered 10 new co-op programs to all of our partners this past fiscal year. So it was the first time ever we offered a radio campaign. And with our co-op programs, we were able to drive over 125,000 partner site visits to your website. For overall brand successes, to date, we have surpassed our lead and inquiry goal for the year. We've generated over 325,000 leads and over almost 20 million inquiries. Leads are up 85% year over year, and to date, we're up 12% year over year with our gross media impressions. So moving into the media landscape, we'll be reviewing the state of the industry and several key talking points. So you'll notice that the research report dates that we'll be walking through are not consistent throughout this presentation. However, it's because we've pulled the most recent data set for each component. Here's a snapshot of where consumers are spending their time, and you'll notice that in each channel, with the exception of mobile, we have seen a decrease. However, despite this, time spent overall is increasing. Overall time spent is increasing, and that's because we're seeing consumers who are multitasking, so users are on their mobile device while they're watching TV. So looking at TV viewership and trends, we're seeing that TV viewership has really decreased in that younger demographic age groups. So with that said, it's really important that we're utilizing other channels to reach this audience. With mobile usage increasing, we're ensuring that our desktop placements are cross-device, meaning that the programs that you're participating in are reaching those users on desktop, tablet, and mobile devices. We're seeing that the #1 activity on a mobile device is actually audio streaming, so we'll be getting into that shortly, and we've offered a program through Pandora where we're able to reach those users through that audio component. With mobile, we're seeing that although it does account for 67% of time spent on devices, it's only actually accounting for 20% of spending in the industry. This is a huge opportunity for all of you to gain mobile share in the space. So coming back to streaming audio, 2017 was actually the first year that over 50% of the US population was listening to audio streaming on a mobile device on a regular basis. So although it's becoming more prevalent throughout the consumer experience, we are seeing that 50% of our share of ear is taken up by AM and FM traditional radio stations. The reason for this is users are still turning to AM and FM radio stations because they have a sense of familiarity with the DJs and they're feeling that sense of community. So we've addressed with our co-op program the two largest channels that make up the share of ear. So we have a streaming audio placement as well as placements on AM and FM radio. So taking a deeper dive into traditional radio, we have to be a disruptor in the space. 30 and 60-second spots are when we're seeing consumers change the channel. So we need to make sure that we're in placements that kind of break up the clutter. Looking at media consumption overall, as we've discussed, internet usage is extremely heavy with that younger audience. Our more mature audience is still heavy users of magazines, newspapers, which we've included a healthy mix of throughout our co-op program. So you'll see that we're participating in programs throughout all of these channels. So looking at magazine readership, consumer magazines are actually trending fairly flat, and this chart is showing data comparing 2015 to 2018 metrics. So although print readership has slightly decreased, we're seeing an increase in our digital readership. So it's still important that we have these publications and they remain a key part of our media plan to reach that more mature audience. Native ads, this is maybe a term that you've heard thrown around since native is on the uptick, but we've seen a huge increase in native ads year over year. We've included more native opportunities on this fiscal plan as we've seen this huge growth. So travel is actually in the one of the top 10 product categories in the native advertising space. However, you'll notice that it's lower on this list compared to media and entertainment financial services. So this is really the chance for us to be one of the forerunners here within the travel vertical. And at MMG Live Global, we have a proprietary meeting planner survey that we conduct every 5 years. So this graph is really looking at data, the meeting planner data, comparing 2015 data to 2010 data. So we're also going to have the same study in 2020. From this slide, we can see that hotel websites are actually the leading source that meeting planners turn to when looking into meeting venues. This is followed by the CVB website, meeting site selection websites, trade magazines, and third-party websites. All channels are on the rise with the exception of trade media, so we've included digital opportunities within our co-op media plan to make sure that we're reaching meeting planners throughout the different mediums. And although trade magazines have declined, they're still faring far better than newspapers and magazines with the exception of those leisure print magazines at the national level. And then lastly, for those among meeting planners who do use social channels to help them plan their meetings, they are turning to LinkedIn as their #1 source. So we've included a LinkedIn program that will help reach those users.
So why should we participate in a co-op program? Thank you. Of course, you can utilize the VCB's research capabilities for planning and execution, your ability to participate in those programs that have high entry costs, right, that $5,000 minimum per month, for example. High value creative services, so we're constantly developing new creative. You guys are submitting your materials. We're incorporating that into the creative and making sure it aligns with brand. Reporting capabilities, which you every month. And of course, huge dollar savings. Again, you're saving up to 99% on a lot of these programs.
So traditional opportunities, so we'll focus on the details of the publication rather than the placement details since they are listed on this slide. And as Brian mentioned, this DAC will be available on the industry website for you to reference as you need. So first we'll review this new opportunity that's through our traditional channel. The New York Times Teen Magazine is published 12 times a year, and this reaches a very affluent audience with a household income of $112,000. So the issue we will be participating in is the travel issue. We recommend this placement to those partners that are really trying to reach that higher end audience. So now we'll be reviewing programs that we've offered in the past but have proven successful. So the Coastal Living publication, this is one of the most popular placements that tends to sell out every year. And this publication focuses on travel, culture, food, and lifestyle, all categories that are applicable to our destination. So we'll be running in the Eastern edition of the magazine, and this reaches our key markets in the eastern half of the U.S. So previously, we did run in the Midwest and Northeastern editions. However, Coastal Living has since changed their regions to now be East and West. And with this change, circulation has increased, so we're able to reach more users.
And I just want to point out, guys, so this is an actual Coastal Living ad, so when you actually log into the portal and you're getting those material reminders, we're asking you for an image, your headline, your copy, your website, phone number. This is how we're incorporating it into our print ads.
So Southern Living is published on a monthly basis with editorial content featuring the essence of the South, so really that home, food, lifestyle, travel perspective. So this magazine also has a high household income that's reaching that more affluent reader that tends to be more interested in higher end experiences. And then lastly, this placement is within the Florida edition of the magazine that does have that really loyal readership. So Midwest Living, this is a publication that is published 6 times a year, reaching that Midwest consumer with that, again, travel, lifestyle, home, and food content. This placement reaches more of that value-based consumer, and we are running in the national edition, so it's reaching that full Midwest Living subscriber list. So this is a joint opportunity with Midwest Living and Family Circle, and as previously mentioned, Midwest Living is more of that Midwestern consumer, whereas Family Circle is very much more geared towards moms with children.
And so we always do an 8-page insert backed by a full page in this magazine. So obviously we're always doing new creative. This year we did this amazing 8-page insert, really beautiful dynamic images, and we're able to break out the co-op partners kind of on their own page. Partners love this. It did really well. It looked really beautiful in person.
So this is another opportunity with the New York Times. So the Voyages magazine is a travel-themed issue of the Sunday New York Times Sunday magazine. So this is a supplement that is sent out with the Sunday edition of the newspaper. So this is again reaching that very affluent audience. Half of the subscriber base is located in the New York City area. However, the other half is located throughout regions of the U.S. And the reason for that is because the New York Times is one of the leading national papers in the country. So the in-state newspaper insert. In the summer, we really focus on that Florida resident in-state consumer. So one of the ways we do this is to reach these users through the in-state newspaper insert program. And this reaches our Florida residents in those key drive markets. So the in-state newspapers that we reach in this program are the Villages, or newspapers in the Villages, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa.
And this is a great option for our traction partners too. And these are custom 4-page inserts as well, so we incorporate our summer campaign into these inserts. You see National Seashell Day, our Guinness World Record, I was going to say attempt, but we blew that out of the water. So. And then, of course, we have our co-op partners listed down here at the bottom of the inside.
So as we previously talked about radio, people are still listening to radio, but we do have to find ways to cut through the clutter outside of those 30 and 60-second TV spots. So last year was the first time that we ran with this program, and it is the news, weather, traffic sponsorship, and it was really successful this past year. So this program did run in conjunction with our brand radio campaign, so the spots were running on some of our same radio stations that we ran on the brand campaign. So we're offering this opportunity again. However, we did change one of the markets based on our travel data that we had. So Orlando is the same as last year, and we're offering 10 to 15-second spots, and these run with the news, weather, or traffic update on that radio station. So as consumers are dialing in and listening about the traffic report on the station. And then next, we're moving forward with Tampa, and this has, last year we did West Palm Beach, but we decided to switch this out for Tampa based on that visitor origin research that we had.
And also, so these will pretty much start with a mention about the VCB, the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel coming here, and then the partner copy is included at the middle end. It's mostly the partner. We do recommend that you submit a deal for this. And as Laura said, you know, these listeners, they trust their DJs. These are the people that are actually doing the news, weather, traffic. It's not those 30, 60-second spots. So we're breaking through the clutter. And then again, you have the brand support of the radio campaign running in the same markets and stations.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into email co-op, I did just want to talk really quickly. Oh, actually, that's right. Any questions on traditional media?
Yeah, and feel free to also ask us questions at the end. Elizabeth and I will be up there, so if you don't feel comfortable raising your hand, you can feel free to come up to us afterwards.
So before we do talk about email, I did just want to talk about the new GDPR regulations in the European Union, because this did affect us, of course. Now, with these new regulations, consumers have to explicitly opt in for an email to receive our e-newsletters. So once we got word of this, what we did was we deployed a re-engagement campaign where we sent emails, we sent a request to European Union consumers and people who had no geographic location listed, asking if they still wanted to be part of the program. Those who didn't reply were removed from the list, so we basically did a scrub of our list. So it did result in a decrease in our database, but we're seeing that go up every single month. So we anticipate that we'll get back up to the pre-GDPR levels. But we did apply those strict rules, I guess, to the rest of our database, our national database, so that if the U.S. adopts these policies, we'll be able to not have to do another scrub. And this also affects our weekly leads. So this is a free co-op program. You sign up under the miscellaneous tab all the way at the bottom of the portal. Basically, two things. One is that we can no longer share foreign leads, obviously, because that's against privacy laws. But what the VCB does and has always done is allow you guys to get the mailing lists of their leads. So basically, if you're like in a coastal living and you see that little consumer card that's saying, you know, send me more information, sign me up for the email, those are the leads we're getting from those publications. So the VCB enters those into their database. However, due to privacy laws, we cannot send you that electronic info. We can only send you the mailing list so that you can send out your proprietary collateral. That's totally fine. But since they're not asking for information from individual consumers, we cannot share that additional information. If the U.S. does adopt the GDPR regulations as well, we'll have to discontinue this program, but we're still doing it for now. And if you do want to reach these people electronically, we can add them to our database because they're asking for information from us, so you can sign up for any of the co-op programs, co-op emails, and you'll be able to reach them as well. So getting into our first co-op, our monthly in and out of state e-newsletters. So you can see here that we did reduce the sends of the out-of-state, but again, we're going to see that increase every week. The in-state e-newsletters are a great option for our attraction partners. Those run in our off-season and our shoulder seasons. And of course, to our Florida residents, so if you have any Florida resident packages or rates, absolutely, that's a good option for you, and definitely include that in your copy. And then we have our leisure welcome emails that are sold on a quarterly basis, another good option for attraction partners. So when somebody first signs up to receive our e-newsletters, we kind of welcome them to the destination with this email. So it's sent out continuously throughout the quarter every time somebody signs up for a program. Okay, and then we have our bridal emails. So this is a little bit different in that, you know, it's a very niche audience. These are people who are researching weddings, destinations. So basically we changed it this year where anybody who purchases this placement is included in a series of three emails, the first focusing on like bachelor, bachelorette parties, the second on weddings, and the third on honeymoons. So you do get into all three of these emails, and we did reduce the cost because it is that niche audience. You're going to have less sends. We reduced the cost to $100 a quarter, $33 a month. Not bad at all. And again, you're getting featured in the series. And also, excuse me, there was something I wanted to say. Forgive me. Okay, I'm sorry. So you're featured in the three series. So it isn't an expensive way to build awareness, and if you have a good venue that for weddings, for honeymoons, for bachelorette parties, for groups, definitely consider participating in this placement. Also make sure that your website is constantly updated with your packages. Make sure you're updating videos, photos, user-generated content wherever you can. We know that consumers trust other consumers' reviews. Also make sure that there's applicable content for them to engage in once they actually click on your pod. And then our last email opportunity, this is probably one of our most popular co-op programs across every tactic, partner-dedicated emails. They do unbelievably well, and they sell out unbelievably fast. This is VCB and partner exclusive. So you just submit 3 to 5 copy points. The VCB writes the content for you. They do have the right to change your image. It is coming from, you know, their list, so we want to make sure that we're aligned with brand and the partner. We haven't had to change out any images thus far. These are 2 examples. They look really, really good. And just getting into the success of these partner dedicateds over here, we have seen an increase in the click rate percentage for the partners this year. 53%, so for every 100 clicks on this email, 53 are going to the partner while 47 are going to the VCB, so that's wonderful. And then our average clicks across all emails per partner is 959, which is that 38% increase. And then our e-newsletter benchmark for destination e-news is about 17%. We're running at about 21% average, so we're absolutely beating the industry standard there. And we're averaging 340 clicks, 25% increase year over year for partners. Any questions on email? Good.
Great, so moving into digital. So the first opportunity we're going to talk about is brand new. So the partner site tagging is a new opportunity that's available to all partners at absolutely no cost. So we strongly encourage all of the partners to sign up for this free program. So I'll get into these details. For this program, we need all the partners to place a floodlight tag on their website. So what's a floodlight tag? So a floodlight tag is a piece of code that's a string of letters and numbers that allows us to have deeper insights into our advertising. So through this code, we'll be able to share these insights with you, with the VCB, and then this will also help us to plan and buy other programs for next year. So regarding the partner benefit, each month we'll be sending you a report indicating how many visits to your site that were influenced by all CVB media. So for example, if a consumer sees a video ad that's promoting the destination and then visits the partner website, we're able to include that site visit from the video on the monthly report to the partner. So we're able to provide the total number of visits to the site per month. So this is something that you'll be able to see in the reporting dashboard. Through the floodlight tag, we're able to see this information. If it's not implemented, then we're not able to track that data. So without the floodlight tag, we're only able to see click traffic to the partner site. Click traffic is not our sole measure of success for a campaign, as it's telling an incomplete picture. We're seeing a lot of traffic come to the site that is not click-through based. And we can talk about this more later if you have specific questions. I'm happy to get into it further one-on-one.
And we'll get into a further example of this actually for another program that's similar. But for this, I do just want to point out that you really have to have the ability to place that floodlight tag on your homepage. So definitely, get with your webmasters, make sure you have that ability. What will happen is you'll sign up for the program. We will create a floodlight tag for you. It's going to be in an Excel doc. It's going to have the instructions at the top. You're simply going to implement that. You'll let us know when it's done. We'll test it on our end to confirm it's firing, let you know if it's good or if we're having any issues, and once it's firing, we're good to go. And again, as Laura said, we'll report on site visits. You'll hear site visits / inquiries a lot, same thing. So we'll report on, and view-throughs too. So view-throughs, site visits, and inquiries, those are pretty much the same thing in this context. And we'll provide one number. We're not going to break it out and say, hey, this video got you 5, this video got, we'll give you one total number of that at the end of each month.
So digital opportunities, so here's a list that we'll be running through, and the items highlighted in orange are new to the co-op program this year. So the first new program that we'll go through is Zeta, and this is a dedicated email opportunity. And Zeta is a data-driven company that has the ability to reach our target audiences of those Florida beach travelers that specifically live on the East Coast. So this dedicated email will be for Lee County only, so we're not sharing this with other destinations. For this placement, we're estimating 625,000 email sends, and our measure of success is open rate, and you'll notice that open rate is our measure of success across all email campaigns. So Sherman's Travel, as we were talking about earlier, there's a huge opportunity for growth in the native space. So this placement is a custom article, and it will be written by the editorial team at Sherman's Travel. So the article will be about the destination, and then partners who sign up for this program will be mentioned in that article. And Sherman's Travel has a more of a value-based audience with an East Coast skew, so keep that in mind if that relates to the audience that you're wanting to reach.
So not necessarily low cost, but definitely value.
Correct. So another native opportunity, so native display is similar to a banner ad. However, it fits the form and function of the site that it's displayed on. The example that we have here is a native ad, and it has an image with your text about your property or attraction. So this placement will be targeting those users with an interest in beach and Florida travel. Our measure of success is similar to our banner ads, where we're measuring savings on impressions for the partners.
And we do have brand standards in place with our vendors, so it's not like your content is going to run next to some shady content or anything like that.
We make sure that we work in a very safe environment, so we have parameters on the back end where we're not next to unsavory content. So moving into Pandora, so this is what we were talking about with our streaming audio. So this is a program in which the partners have the ability to run an audio streaming campaign that features an audio component in addition to a banner ad. So the display banner ad will be shown at the same time as the audio unit when that's running. So Pandora will assist with the creation of the 15 to 30 second spot. So if you don't have that radio asset, no need to worry. That's something that our team and Pandora will help you with. And this program is also specifically targeting that beach and Florida traveler audience. So moving into other digital opportunities that are tried and true ones from last year. So we have 4 email opportunities that are all dedicated emails. These emails are 100% dedicated to the destination and some of our most popular programs. They tend to sell out really quickly. So we'll walk through each opportunity with the different vendors and what makes the most sense for the different audience segments that you all are trying to reach. So the New York Times Great Getaways email, this placement does skew a little more towards that affluent audience with a higher household income. That's the case for really anything with the New York Times. These consumers are less concerned with price and do want a more high-end experience. So moving into Sherman's Travel, the Sherman's Travel audience does have a more of an East Coast skew, and it is value-based, but as Elizabeth mentioned with the native placement, it's not necessarily low cost. So our e-target email, so the e-target audience is within the top DMAs for the primary markets that we're trying to reach, and it does have a focus on lower cost deals. And then lastly, Travel Spike. This is reaching users who are in the booking stage of the funnel and those who have a high propensity for travel. These users are also more value-based. So looking into paid email successes that we saw in 17-18, so the e-target email that we ran in May had an open rate of 22%, and this beat the media industry average for open rate of 10%. And then our Great Getaways email with the New York Times, the May email averaged 115 clicks to the partner sites, and then it also had an open rate of 36%, far exceeding that industry benchmark of 10%. So our OTA and meta-search opportunities, OTA stands for Online Travel Agent for those of you who aren't familiar, so that's the Expedia and Pricelines of the world. So for the Expedia placement, we're targeting users off the Expedia site for that low-cost savings to allow for partner clicks to the website. So we're reaching users who are in that booking stage of the funnel who have viewed destination content or our competitors' destination content. The kayak placement is similar. We're targeting those users who have visited our destination content or competitor content, and we're also reaching users off-site for that more efficient placement.
Because if we were on-site, it would have to click through to your listing on-site, on Kayak or on Expedia. So this way that we can actually send them directly to your website.
Yeah, because although we want to reach those users who are searching on Expedia or Kayak, we ultimately would prefer them to book on your all's website. So the success we saw with Kayak, we were able, through our program this past year, we were able to offer our partners who signed up an 89% cost savings. So this was great to see. And then in addition, we were reaching those very qualified users who were in the booking stage of the funnel, researching flight and hotel options. So with our Expedia campaign, we were able to offer our partners 50% off the original cost, and we also over-delivered on impressions by over 400% to date. This campaign is still running. So HomeAway opportunities. So I really want to clarify that this program is offered specifically to vacation rental properties. This placement is, again, reaching users off-site who have visited the destination or the competitor destinations vacation rentals on the HomeAway site. So the success we saw for this past year, we were able to offer 77% off the original cost, and we were really reaching those users who were looking at destinations for vacation rentals. The Expedia Traveler Review ads. This is different from the Expedia campaign I previously talked about. This campaign is very unique in that we're able to pull in an Expedia review directly into the banner ad. So this placement is only available to partners who have at least 80% positive reviews on Expedia. So keep that in mind. This placement clicks through to the partner's listing on Expedia as opposed to the partner website, so keep that in mind as well. So here's an example of what this looks like, and for this year we were able to offer a cost savings of 71% off to our partners. And although click-through rate is not a metric that we're necessarily measuring as a means of success, the review ads did outperform the industry benchmark by quite a bit. So this just really tells us that travelers do take in reviews into consideration, and travelers are 3.9 times more likely to choose a hotel with a higher review when prices are comparable. So for TripAdvisor opportunities, I want to say that this is also one of the most popular programs, so keep that in mind as you're wanting to sign up for these. The TripAdvisor banner placement does reach users who are actively looking for information on the destination, so we're reaching a very qualified audience. The text link opportunity is a little different. So this is a placement that does allow the partners to be included as a featured deal within the promotion module of the destination page on TripAdvisor. So this placement is reaching more of those deal seeker travelers.
And so we have 4 destination pages, right? Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, and Captiva. You can sign up monthly in any or all of those, on any or all of those pages.
So successes that we saw this past year, overall, the most important one was the savings on impressions. So we were able to offer a CPM to our partners of $13.33 compared to the average of $18. And then we were also able to get a click-through rate of 28% higher than the industry standard. So Matador, coming back to native, this is another native opportunity. So I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Matador, but this is an adventure content website that gets millions of unique visitors every month. Content on the site includes lifestyle, culture, and outdoor content with a huge focus on travel. So the editorial team at Matador creates these custom articles about the destination, and then partners who sign up for this program will be featured within the article. So topics on the articles range from fishing, beaches, shelling, family travel, adventure travel, couples focused. So our measure of success for this campaign is pages viewed of the article, time spent with the article, and then social shares of the article.
And those benchmarks you see here are from Matador, so those are their benchmarks.
Correct. So success we saw for this past year. So for June, the Matador article was centered around fishing, and the partner exceeded all of the benchmarks for each category based on the Matador benchmarks that they had in place.
And once these articles are done, the VCB shares on their social pages, and then we also send to the partners who are involved, who actually purchased the placement, for them to share as well. So we send you a Facebook link so that you can easily share.
Mm-hmm. So transitioning into our programmatic placements. So programmatic is a buzzword that you all have maybe heard thrown around. It's a bit of a complicated process. This chart showing the process of how a programmatic buy gets to the end user, but it basically boils down to 3 things. So with programmatic, we're reaching the right person at the right moment within the right context. So reaching the right person. So if we're going after beach travelers, it's important that we have data resources on the back end to ensure that we are reaching that correct audience, and programmatic has the capabilities to do this. So reaching users in the right moment, so we want to make sure that we're reaching a user in an engaged setting. So we want to ensure that we're reaching that audience when they're in the purchase portion of the funnel. It makes more sense to reach these users when they've had behaviors that indicate they are looking to take a vacation. And then lastly, the right context. So for example, if our audience is brides or those who are recently engaged, we want to make sure that our ad is placed in content that's relevant to that reader. So maybe it's an article around honeymoons, destination weddings, so really making sure it's in that right contextual environment. So our programmatic audience targeting opportunity, so this program is targeting 4 custom segments that were actually specifically created for the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel based on our visitor data. So the audience segments are explorers and activity seekers, nature admirers, families, and couples. So for 17-18, we had a huge success. We were able to offer our partners an average cost savings of 90% and the ability to run the campaign due to the $5,000 campaign minimum per month. Overall, we increased reach and frequency to consumers who showed online behaviors indicating that they were interested in taking a vacation to Florida. So partner site retargeting. So this is a program that is targeting those audiences that have already visited a partner site, and it's we're reaching those users again to make sure that we're keeping top of mind as the partner is going through that planning and research phase. I want to specify that in order to participate in this program, partners have to have a floodlight tag implemented on the site. So successes we saw this past year, average cost savings for the campaign was over $40,000 that we were able, over 40% that we were able to give back to our partners, and the ability to run the campaign due to that $5,000 minimum. Pink Shell specifically, we were able to drive over 21,000 visits to the website, and that was a CPI of 16 cents, which was below our industry average of $1.50.
Cost per inquiry.
That's cost per inquiry. Inquiry, site visits, it's the same thing.
Okay. And then I just want to take a little deeper dive into this. So partner site retargeting, this is very similar to the free partner tag, website tagging placement that we're going to have. This one is different in that, as Laura said, these are visitors that have gone to your site. We're retargeting, serving them with banners that we're creating for you after they've visited your site. So it is a little different. This one does have a cost associated with it, but you still do need to have the ability to place that floodlight tag. Now, this is a bigger resort, so I don't want to say, these are typical results, although the partners that we do have the floodlight tag for do look like this. But we do have a little deeper insight, right? So for TripAdvisor, this is a March report, I believe. TripAdvisor, you're seeing that click rate of just five clicks on their banners after they were served. However, people who viewed this partner's TripAdvisor banner, 366 site visits after the fact. So although you only see 5 clicks, you're going to think, oh, maybe this placement didn't do so well. Because we have the floodlight tag implemented on this partner site, we can see those additional 366 site visits influenced by this specific placement. So when we're reporting, we're going to give you those inquiries by placement, unlike the free program where we'll give you a total number at the end. Then this second one is actually just from this placement. So in the month of, I think, March again, this partner had 25 clicks on their banners that were served to over 100,000 people. Again, you think, maybe that didn't do so well, but then you have over 1,000 site visits for that 1 month only influenced by this placement. So again, click-through rate, it is, it gives us a piece of the puzzle, but it is not the sole indicator, and that's why we changed our measures of performance, like savings on impressions on this type of campaign, digital campaigns, because we just don't want you to think that, your campaign is not performing well when it's just a piece of the puzzle.
So the programmatic bridal campaign, so this is reaching brides who have shown behaviors of researching those beach destination weddings or honeymoons. So For successes this past year, the average cost savings that we were able to give to our partners was 85% off the original cost. And then we also over-delivered on impressions, serving slightly under 1 million impressions per partner. For Pink Shell specifically, this campaign drove 972 visits to the site. So our programmatic summer promotion campaign, so this is retargeting those users who have come to the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel websites specifically to that summer promotion page. So for 17-18 successes, the average cost savings that we were able to provide to the partners was 85%. And then we also wanted to specify that we really did reach those audiences that were looking for a summer getaway, summer promotion with the Zeta partner.
And again, that's utilizing our summer campaign. So it's, new creative every year, of course. And this is why, Josh and the team are always asking you guys to submit your deals for that summer promo page. So we're seeing you in multiple places, right? So these people are going to that actual page, and then we're serving them your banners.
So the Island Hopper Songwriter Fest, this is retargeting those users who have indicated that they're planning to attend the event by visiting the Island Hopper Songwriter Fest website. So for this past year, we were able to offer a cost savings of 92% off the original cost to our partners, and then the ability to run the campaign as there is a $5,000 per month minimum. So moving into geofencing. So geofencing is maybe a term that you've all heard thrown around, but geofencing allows us to create a digital fence around a specified area that we're able to then target users once they enter that geolocation. So for this campaign this past year, or for this campaign this coming year, we're creating a geofence around competitor in-state beach destinations. So we're reaching users on their mobile devices as they're visiting competitor beaches.
So it's residents in those areas, it's visitors in those areas, and because we know, we have a very unique environment, we're very natural, we have a lot of spaces spread out. That was our message for this year, whereas we don't have the high rises of Miami and Fort Lauderdale, or the crowds of Tampa. So again, those beaches, we put that fence around it, and then we were serving them partner banners.
We really wanted to keep our destination top of mind as they're planning their next beach vacation. So for this past year, we were able to offer a cost savings to our partners of 92%, and then we also over-delivered on impressions, and we were able to provide our partners with almost 1 million impressions. Each. So moving into overall highlights for this year. So I wanted to call out a couple items. So these two specific placements were with a partner that had implemented a floodlight tag, and we're able to see the partners that implemented this floodlight tag did drive a very high volume of inquiries or site visits. So we're able to give you that data if you're able to implement that floodlight tag. Any questions on digital before moving into the next section? Great.
Party.
Yeah. Okay, so just a few slides for the social placements. There will be 3 different placements, 3 different targeting parameters. We've set for each separate placement with that same objective of driving an interested audience back to your guys' websites.
First one.
Okay, so Facebook slideshow. This was introduced last year, and we're continuing with this. Because video is such a big component of social and more hours are being spent watching video on social, we do want to provide an opportunity for you guys to kind of play in that space. So with the Facebook slideshow ad, we're really showcasing your business in video format with just those assets that you guys provide us. With this, we use web retargeting. We use the VCB email database. So again, we're targeting users who have signed up for our email, want to learn more about the destination with specific offers or information from your sites. Again, always driving them through to your site. And this is launched on your Facebook page, so you provide us that access, we create the ad on your behalf, and we launch it utilizing our targeting. We recommend providing 3 to 5 high-quality images, all sized in that 1x1 format. Again, that's always provided by Elizabeth, just to really make sure that that slideshow is more than 2 seconds long with 2 images. So 5 is the best, but if you only have 3, that works too. Okay, so same placement, but instead of separating Facebook and Instagram this year, we are combining them into one ad if you have both of those accounts and want to target users on both platforms. So we're calling this a dual placement. It doesn't cost more. There's nothing new really happening except that we're combining these two. Facebook will do the work for you guys on the back end. So if you sign up for these dual placements, your slideshow will be on your Facebook account, your Instagram account, targeting those users who have signed up for our email database. Facebook, again, like I said, doing that work to see where that target audience is engaging with your ad. So say more people are really digging that ad on Instagram, they're clicking through more on Instagram. Facebook is going to kind of decrease the amount of times that audience is going to see that on Facebook and ramp up that performance on Instagram for you guys automatically using the data they collect. So again, nothing new you guys have to do. Same format. We're just combining them this year so we give you the opportunity to only place on Facebook or to place on both.
And of course, the VCB matches every single social placement dollar for dollar.
Facebook retargeting. So this is the web retargeting. So this is a single image format, again, taking people who visited our site with our Facebook advertising and our channels. We're trying to get people, obviously, to our website. So we're then retargeting that audience with specific messaging from you guys. So this is an effective way for you guys to reach that audience that, again, interested in learning more about the destination, goes to those specific sites. We can tailor that to, again, to stay a little bit longer page. If you're a resort or a hotel, we'll retarget people with your ad who have visited pages on our site, learning more about where to stay, places to stay, all of those nifty pages on the website. Again, retargeting those users, driving that interested audience to click through to your pages, and this is launched from your account, living in that user's newsfeed, and we match the price on these. Similarly, we're doing the dual placement here, running this both on Facebook and Instagram. So again, Facebook's doing that work for you guys and making sure that that ad's placed on what channel your audience, that target audience, is responding to your ad the most with. The carousel ad. So this is the placement that actually lives on the Fort Myers Sangerville Facebook and Instagram accounts. This will be run on both, again, optimizing towards where that audience is interacting with the ad. So this is actually a new targeting feature that we did not utilize last year. We are constantly, one of our goals is making sure people are engaging with the content we share on our Fort Myers Sangerville social accounts. So we're then able to create a custom audience of all those people who are interacting with our page, sharing our content, liking, engaging, viewing, clicking through to our website, gathering all of those people who are engaging with what we're pushing out, collecting that into a nice little custom audience, and you guys are retargeting them with this carousel ad with messages from your attractions, resorts, hotels, etc. So really just targeting that highly engaged audience with a really visually appealing carousel that shows each partner's message in that frame.
These are going to be shared placements, so it's not just going to be you.
Yeah, so you have one carousel within that frame, and similar to past, I think we've done this for 2 years, similar to those past 2 years, we do make sure to update that first frame, so everyone has, depending on length of, or depending on the amount of partners, we divide that up by, that 1 month time period of that time that the ad is running, and make sure to put the last one to the front, so on and so on. So everyone does have equal amount of time in the front placement. But again, they're carousel ads. Facebook is targeting these, trying to get people to scroll all the way through. So this is an audience that will be more inclined to scroll all the way through, view everything, and interact with those images that they like and they respond to. And I should make note for this, because this is on our channels, we will approve these, the VCB will approve those images, and we do have the right to change that image similar to other placements if we need to. I don't think we ever have done. Very rarely. But again, most important thing I think to note here is, and you guys know this if you're on social, people interact or people stop to look at the images they like. I think always what's really important with these placements is when you're submitting those images, just to think, would I like to see this on my Instagram feed, or would I like to see this in my Facebook newsfeed? Would this make me stop? Would this make me look? Would this make me say, ooh, I want to go there? So that's really important, especially with the Facebook and Instagram placements, is just to really make sure you're keeping that in mind. And of course, we'll talk more about this in boot camp, but keeping that in mind when you're submitting those images for the co-ops, just representing, kind of the most highly visually appealing spots and images that you can. And again, just highlighting as we have, so here's a really great carousel that we ran this past year. So a good cost per click, and so that is people who are then clicking through to your landing page or website. We try to keep those at under $1. That's a very good benchmark for us. This garnered a 35-cent cost per result, which is really great. We had almost 8,000 clicks collectively to those different websites within that month-long period, and about almost 450,000 impressions within that month-long period as well. So all of these images were really high-quality assets. Again, what I love about these is it shows kind of a variety of experiences, offers. So you'll see there's sailing, then there's a nice little resort to the right. So again, just showing those really high-quality images. They're all social-friendly and focusing more on that destination, that experience that can be had. Here is a Facebook slideshow. Again, so this got under that dollar cost per click goal that we have of a 77-cent cost per click. So this had 1,167 clicks to that website and almost 60,000 impressions. Again, all of these images were really high quality. They were sized appropriately for the format. And they focused on those experiences that you could have at the resort in the destination, focusing again on the variety of things you could do, see, explore. And what's important to note is that engagement for an ad. You might think, oh, like 54 likes. Again, likes aren't the metric here. We don't care about likes. We care about clicks through to that site. So Facebook is delivering this ad to people who are more inclined to click through to your website than just simply like the ad and move on with their day. So that's always something really important to remember as well. And that's all from me. Any questions before I sit back down? Yes?
What's the difference between slideshow and carousel?
Okay, so a slideshow, we are taking those, say, 5 images, and on our end, we're compiling those into a video. So that'll automatically play when a user scrolls down to that ad. It'll play, it'll automatically kind of transition to that next images and then loop. So they're continuously seeing that video format within the ad. A carousel, you're swiping through to different cards that have different copies. So as you know, you're all allowed to submit your own copy, your own voice, your own branding, etc. within the copy. So you'll have those different cards with different clickable links that click through to your website. Does that make sense? Yes.
Thank you. So it's the video component.
Yes.
So the second question is, are all of those social ads targeting the custom audience of the Fort Myers?
Of who are engaging? No, that one is the carousel. So the carousel ad where you have your own card with your own, copy and your own image and then a link to your own website. This is the custom audiences of those who have interacted with our channel and our content previously. The slideshow, so this is our email database. So these are people who have subscribed to our database, want to learn more. We're targeting those users through that email that they've given us. If that email matches their Facebook account, we're targeting them on their Facebook account through our database. And if you are coming to boot camp, I've reserved, I'll review this again, and if you have any additional questions, I'm more than happy to answer them then. Oops. Oh, I gave you some, I'm so sorry.
So for social too, again, the carousels are going to run on the VCB pages. All the other placements, run on your pages. So if you've never run with us before, we're going to send an advertiser request through MMGY to your page, and we just need you to accept that before we can actually post on your page and boost.
And with that advertiser request, we can't see the page. We can't post on your page. We can't do anything. We can't see your insights. We only have access through our ads manager to then create an ad on your behalf. So we can't do anything else, so privacy is completely yours. We can just build that ad on your page with that ads manager, right?
Thank you. So before we get into Travel Trade Co-op, I just wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about our new meetings campaign that we're really very excited and proud of. We just started running it very recently. So we know a lot of meetings ads typically show like conference rooms or meetings rooms, you know, stuff like that. We really wanted to show that the destination is a muse for inspiration, which then leads to innovation, and that is a very important condition for planners to book here, right? And that's our main audience with these publications, are the planners. So because of that, we really spoke to the planner in our ads. We made them the heroes, really, of the piece, especially the print ads. And we highlighted different team building activities that you could do in destination, and that meeting attendees can actually expect to have. So we think it's a really beautiful campaign. Here are some examples. This is a spread, a 2-page spread. Over to the right is a full page, and in the middle here is one of our versions of our digital ads. Now these are HTML5, so they animate, of course, but for this purpose they're just static here. But here's one version, and then here are 2 other versions of our print ads, full page, a spread, how we were able to incorporate co-op for that first ad that we had, and then another version of our digital. Again, HTML, and that does animate.
So opportunities to really reach those meeting planners. So Florida Trend is a business magazine targeting business executives who are civic leaders, government officials in the state of Florida. So this magazine is published on a monthly basis, and it's really reaching those users with information about meetings, regional news, lifestyle editorial. But we're reaching them with our meetings message. So meetings today. This is a meeting planner specific publication. It is one of the leading publications in the meeting industry, and it's really reaching those professional meeting planners. So editorial content is focused on conference centers, meeting trends, attractions, that type of content.
And excuse me, Laura, I'm sorry. You'll notice these don't say attraction option. Most attractions wouldn't fit necessarily. However, there are some that actually would work for these types of placements. So offshore sailing, they offer courses, great team building activities. We actually included that in our videos in our campaign as well. So although it doesn't list it, if you guys do have some sort of incentive for these meeting planners, absolutely you can buy into these programs.
So for meetings today, we have a comprehensive list of programs available. So as we talked about earlier, although readership with meeting publications has declined a little from the past years, we're really offering you all the opportunity to reach those meeting planners across print, email, and digital channels. So a success we saw from this past year was that the June email send for meetings today had an open rate of 15.7%, and this beat the B2B industry average that we have of 11.5%. The custom email was also $5,000, and we were able to offer this program to you all for $200, so huge cost savings as well. So meetings and conventions, similar to meetings today, this is another meeting planner specific publication that is a leader within the space. So this is published 12 times per year, and it reaches those dedicated professional meeting planners. Similar to meetings today, we're offering a comprehensive list of opportunities through the different channels. A success we saw from this past year was the March dedicated email had an open rate of 21%, exceeding that industry benchmark. Successful meetings, this is actually a sister publication to meetings and conventions. However, this publication is reaching business executives who are responsible for planning meetings. Similarly, offering once again a comprehensive list of opportunities. A campaign success we saw this past year was for the July dedicated email that had a 16% open rate. So we referenced earlier that meeting planners who utilize social to plan meetings are really heading to LinkedIn as their primary source from the social channels. So for this campaign, partners have the opportunity to target those meeting planners on LinkedIn. So we're utilizing text links ads and image ads, both of which are shown here. A partner success we saw for this past year was that partners who bought into this program received over 11,000 impressions, and this over-delivered on estimated impressions by 157%. So now we're going to move into channels targeting travel agents. So Agent at Home is a publication that's really reaching those travel agents who do all of their work full-time at home. So this is the only publication of its kind to really reach those travel agents who are working full-time from their homes. Vacation Agent is also a travel agent-specific publication that exclusively sells leisure products. This publication is best fit for hotels and resorts whose main focus is leisure travel as opposed to B2B.
And also, I just want to note here, it might seem a little odd that we have like a wedding ad that we ran in this edition this year. However, the editorial content of this edition was destination weddings, so obviously we wanted to speak to that content.
So Travel Weekly, this is another publication that is specifically reaching that travel audience, the travel agent audience. It's reaching not only travel agents but also tour operators who are responsible for planning both leisure and business travel. So we have a comprehensive list of programs available with Travel Weekly, including a couple print insertions as well as a custom email. For this past year, the June email had an open rate of 15.7%, exceeding that industry benchmark. And then lastly, we were able to offer a cost savings to our partners of over 96%. So any questions regarding travel trade? Okay, moving into international co-op opportunities. So this first opportunity is with Essentially America, and this is an international publication that's targeting leisure travelers taking trips to the United States. So we're going to be running in the February issue, and this is the UK edition who's reaching leisure travelers in the United Kingdom. I want to specify that the UK is one of our top international markets at a brand level, and that other top markets are Germany as well as Canada. Zoomer Print. Zoomer is actually the official publication of the Canadian Association of Retired Peoples, so Canada's version of the AARP. So this is a lifestyle magazine that's going to be reaching those Canadian readers who are 55 or who are 45 plus. TripAdvisor Digital, so this is one of our most popular programs, and this is a TripAdvisor international campaign, and partners are able to run banner units on TripAdvisor.com, reaching those leisure travelers in the UK, Canada, and Germany.
$100, 5 months. Pretty good deal.
It's a good deal. So as I said, those countries are our top markets for reaching international travelers.
And I just did want to also note that you guys submit your copy, and the VCB actually handles the translations for you for the German banners. So we do 2 sets for you guys for those.
A success that we saw from this past fiscal year is that we over-delivered on impressions by over 1,000%. So we're really happy that we were able to offer that to all of our partners. And then the next opportunity is online travel agent, OTA opportunity. So this will either be through Priceline or Expedia. And partners have the opportunity to run banner units on one of these sites that will be targeted to users who are looking to book travel to Lee County. And this program is targeting users who are in the UK and Canada. A success we saw this past year was that we over-delivered on impressions by 486% and provided a cost savings to our partners of 70%.
Okay, great. So in addition to all of the media opportunities, the VCB also offers sales co-ops, so trade shows, that type of thing, domestically and internationally, actually. Consumer, meeting planner, group tour, and then, of course, our international shows, Global Trade, Global Consumer. So VCB really sets up these shows. So if you have any questions on the domestic programs, everybody I'm sure knows Director of Sales Jill Vance. Here's her contact information. And then for anything global, international, that's Stephanie Zinka, and here's her email address. Here's some shows that they attended this year. We see these at TDC too. Okay. And I get a lot of questions about reporting, so thank you. So I just wanted to address a few of them as we go, just so you guys can, as the year progresses. So you can access your reports a few different ways. Do you mind if I stand here? Okay. You can access your reports a few different ways. If you want to see all of your placements by month, you're simply going to log into the co-op portal, click on your reports tab right on that home page, that fourth tab, and then you can select a month. So here's an example of a report with all the programs for the month of March. You'll note that TripAdvisor, you'll see some zeros here. That's because the campaign has not finished. This is a March report. The campaign has not finished, so these numbers you see are going to be for March only. However, the welcome email and the featured attractions, those ran January through March. So you're going to see your monthly metrics, but then you're also going to see your total campaign metrics. So if you're ever wondering how the whole campaign went, you go to the last month that the placement ran, and you'll have not only the metrics for that last month, but then you'll have all of your campaign metrics together, so you don't have to go through the reports and add them yourself. You can also access your reports by placement. So you're going to go into your ordered programs tab on that home page, select whichever program you're interested in viewing, and then just click on the reports tab. So you note here the kayak placement is by itself. This is not over yet, or we didn't have reporting by this time. So we see that the report date is 5/31. So this is your May report for kayak and your monthly metrics. So those are always available in the system, and also once we actually get them ready for you and upload them at the end of the month, they're also emailed to you. So you're going to have them in email, you're going to have them in a bunch of different places that you can access them in the actual portal. Okay. And then I always like to get into the VCB targeting so that we can make sure that we're all aligned in our messaging. For winter and fall, our primary targets are couples with a secondary focus on families, and then in spring, summer, that's reverse. Focus on families, particularly in-state, with a secondary focus on couples. And of course, we're marketing to meeting planners and travel agents year-round. So here are the advertising periods and the travel times affected by these advertising periods. So our winter, October to February ads are affecting a December to Easter time period, etc. And here are just some of our focuses by season. It's obviously not a complete list, but it does give you an indication of the things that we're focusing on by season. Okay, and because of that, why I like to include that is so that you guys can align your messaging as you're going through and uploading your materials. You should be consistent with the VCB as much as possible. Not always, doesn't always have to be, but you do want to as much as possible. So if you see TripAdvisor, right, you're like, oh, should I run couples, should I run families, what should I do here? Think of the season. If you're in fall, or you're in winter, couples. Spring, summer, families. There is an exception, and that's the placements that we have that are dedicated to an audience segment, right? So family travelers, regardless of the season, you're going to run family creative for it. For your click-throughs for print, you want to make sure that they are concise to help with consumer recall. You can also, if you want to drive to like a specific page, promo page or something like that, you can consider vanity URLs so that you can actually drive to a page with a longer address, but also you can track your performance through Google Analytics if you set it up. For your digital, of course, make sure that those are clicking through to your relevant pages. There's nothing worse than like clicking on an ad thinking you're going to see something about weddings and you're going to a home page and you're having to search through the whole site for that information. So again, if you're in the meetings space, make sure that you're clicking through to your meetings page. You can also submit UTM codes to us. There are a lot of free UTM builders online. You submit that to us. We, of course, add our own tracking. We track. But with your UTMs, you can set those up in Google Analytics as well and then track on your own as well. Okay. We definitely want to make sure that we're using as dynamic of a shot as we can. Lifestyle images do really well. Generic property shots are typically see less engagement. You know, this hotel room could be anywhere. This pool could be anywhere. You really want to give some context and some life to your images. So here are some of our really gorgeous partner shots that have been incorporated in multiple placements and also do very well. So, you know, it doesn't have to be the beach. This is a retail, an attraction partner that, you know, is showing the life that they're seeing, did really well in their placements. So for specifications, so you're going to upload your materials, you're going to see specs for everything that you have to upload. I did want to call out our digital. So we always build 4 ads for you guys, different aspect ratios, different sizes. Some are tall and skinny, some are square, some are, you know, horizontal. So your image, if you submit one full-size image, we're going to have to crop it in all these different ways. So this year was the first time we allowed you guys to submit up to 4 images based on the aspect ratio. So we do have specs in there. However, they're not going to be 100% solidified for the images. The reason that is because that would severely limit our creative team, saying, hey, make sure the partner's image is always this size. You know, we really want to give them that freedom to build the creative, what's going to work best. So the sizes you see are very, very close. If we do have to crop, it will be very minimal, but we are allowing you to submit for each aspect ratio. If you see it and then maybe it's not laying out how you want to, you send me a new image, we'll swap it out for you, no worries at all. You can submit up to 4 images, but only 1 image is required if you only have 1 or can't resize. For your meetings digital images, you're going to submit 1 full-size image because we typically only buy 1 banner for these guys, and as we get closer to the placement date, that's when we're RFPing, negotiating, deciding on our sizes. So we wouldn't know that at this time when we're setting our specs. Digital copy, we did reduce the character counts for the calls to actions on the banners. They were getting a little long, so we did take a few characters off of them. And occasionally, not always, not even too often, we will replace your CTAs with like a standard one that the VCB has set for that. But again, you'll see everything, you'll be able to approve. And then print, I get asked a lot, how come there's no sizes, no specs for the print images? That's because that's really dependent on the number of participants in the program, how many co-op partners bought in. If there's less, then we can do a little bigger image. If there's more, it's just a tiny, tiny bit smaller. Sometimes it's square, sometimes it's vertical. And also for print, a lot of times we'll know that we're like buying a full page ad, for example, and then as we're negotiating, we'll get a spread for added value. So that would also affect the size of the image. So it just doesn't make sense to include that. So you submit 1 full-size image, and we work it into the layout. For submissions and approvals, so on your home page, you have this ordered programs tab. It's the 2nd tab. It's going to list all the programs that you bought. Anything in red is waiting on information from you. Anything in black is you're waiting on me. So please do be sure to upload your materials by the due date. It does help increase efficiencies, and also it helps not delay other partners who've submitted their materials, because we can't obviously get a print ad out right until we have everybody's information there. You get 2 reminder emails, one the week before the materials are due and one the day of. And you can always, always submit your materials early if you want on that ordered programs tab. So again, they're right there, and you can search by status for anything that's due. Approvals, we do ask for approvals within 48 to 72 hours. You'll get an email with a link saying your creative's ready for review. Go in and approve it. You could also not approve and give whatever changes you need us to make, and we'll do that for you and then re-upload it. Occasionally, you guys will get an email from me asking for a quick turn. That could be a number of reasons. We're finalizing creative, the fact we pushed up the due date, but I have to say you guys are so awesome. Every single time I ask for those, you always accommodate, so I really appreciate that. I want to say that October comes on us really, really fast. That's the first month of our fiscal. So we're going to have a lot of placements that October, winter. September's going to be tight. So you're going to see due dates, you're going to get those reminders. Please, please do submit your materials as close as you can to that due date, because we're going to need that time to build everything to start you guys on October 1st. Okay. And for next steps, so the buy-in is on Tuesday the 21st, 10:30 a.m. precisely. We know a lot of these programs sell out within the first minute, so you really want to save your program, your program list. Simply check, save. You go to the next screen where it says fill out your contact information. There's a button that says fill out from the information I've registered you with. It fills everything out for you. Just check it, save. You go to the next site, the next page, which says you save, and then when I open the co-op at exactly this time, 10:30, you can go to that third screen real quick and just hit submit. That button's going to appear at 10:30 a.m., a submit button. As you're planning, it's just going to say save. But at 10:30, refresh, and then hit submit. That'll get you in as one of the first. You do have to be registered on the co-op site to purchase the program, so if you have, do not have a login, just contact me by the 15th, and I'll get you set up and send you your credentials. This is my contact information. Again, this will be on the industry site right here. So leadvcb.com, sales and marketing, marketing support, and then the advertising plan. So you'll see the all the media opportunities, all the sales opportunities, and this deck too. Okay, does anybody have any questions? None? That's amazing.
That was a lot of information.
Thank
So
you
these guys
guys.
have worked for months putting this together.
Good job. So it's, you know, we ran a little over because of the announcements at the beginning, but these guys will be hanging around. We'll be hanging around if you have any one-on-one questions. Before I let you go, I want to ask Josh to come up here with me. When Tam was here earlier talking about water quality and everything, one thing she forgot to mention that I was planning on mentioning anyway is that we could use deals right now. So if you want to go to the website, log in, upload some deals, you know, during the water quality crisis, we're calling it, and certainly after it clears going into fall, any kind of deals that you can offer. A lot of what we'll be doing will be pointing to that deals page. So you should be seeing a lot of traffic, but you know, we need to incentivize, we need to encourage. So while I have a captive audience, I thought, hey, let's mention something about deals. Josh also wants to mention something to you guys about our Lonely Planet guidebook for next year, which is process has already started again.
Thanks, Brian. Hello, everybody, and I promise I won't talk for that long because how many of you are hungry? A lot, me too. So we are currently reviewing our Lonely Planet guidebook, and how many of you are familiar with the guidebook? Okay, how many of you are not? Totally okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to come see me before you go to lunch, and we'll make it really quick, and I'll give you a business card so you can email me. But if you are a hotel or an attraction partner, you can have a free listing in the guidebook. We order like 70,000 guidebooks. So that's a lot of pages with a lot of content and 70,000 households and hotels and partners that you can end up in the hands of. So this is an important date. I need you to update your listing by August 24th. What was the date? Thank you. Help me help you guys. I want the information to be credible and fact-checked, and broken lists and bad phone numbers are no good to anybody. So if you're confused about how to do that, please come see me. I'll give you a business card, and I'll send you an email with a video of me talking. It's wonderful. If maybe you've watched it. It's on YouTube. I have 13 views. So there's some of you here, mostly me probably watching and criticizing myself. But anyways, so come see me before you go. I want to make sure that information is right. Again, August 24th. That's all I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Josh. He's great. Josh is great, right? All right, well, thanks again to Elizabeth, Laura, Mackenzie, and Megan's also here. You guys enjoy your lunch. We hope to see you back around 1:30 for Social Media Boot Camp. Thanks a bunch.